Hello, hello. I'm doing a dev stream today, and we're going to be looking at some trees and stuff. I just got to fire out my typical dev stream email, what am I saying? Discord message. Taking a look at rendering server and multi-threading. All right. So I've finally given up my pursuit. Why is chat disabled? What the hell happened? All right. So OBS is telling me chat is disabled. I've finally given up my pursuit. But I don't think it is. Why is chat disabled? What the hell happened? No, it's not disabled. Hey there. Oh, it's always something. It's always something. Oh, here we go. Okay. We're good. We're good. So the plan is I want to do a full LOD approach on these trees, and ultimately what I want to get to is I want to create a multi-threaded system that spawns in like a ridiculous number of these trees in the background. Always something. I want to use like a chunking approach. Okay, we're good. So I've done this kind of thing a few times now. Bushcraft Survival uses this kind of tree system. Oddly enough, the trees in Bushcraft Survival look way worse than this. What I want to get to is I want to create a multi-threaded system. We'll see. Spawns in like a ridiculous. We'll see how this goes in the background. Always something. Because I often find that when I develop something the first time, I don't really know what I'm doing, and I just kind of suffer my way through it. Kind of tree system. But then if I do it again, it's going to be significantly better than this as these things go. We'll see. So we'll see. First thing about this model that I noticed that's really crazy is that there is, and I don't know how I'm going to do this, but there's also branches in here, so there's two types. Suffer my way through it. Oh God, I was doubling. But then if I do it again, it's going to be significantly better than this. I'm just going to mute my desktop audio. Is that better? What the heck? My OBS is freaking out. It's playing the audio through my mic on the desktop. I don't know why my OBS is so bad. Every single time I set up a stream, it's messed up. Why am I so bad at this? Monitoring is off. I don't know. Whatever. We muted my desktop audio, so now it's good. You know what? I'm being an idiot. I'm being a big dummy. I have the YouTube stream playing in a browser tab. I'm such an idiot. Okay. We continue. I think we're good now. So yeah, the plan is figure out what the heck is going on with these materials. Blender has a fancy feature called separate by material, which might help us here. But I want to try to figure out a way to pipeline these things. They're kind of medium poly. These are pretty well authored assets, honestly. I don't think there's any major issues in how they've been created. I just got to find a way to pipeline them. And I want to use the rendering server code that I used in a previous video. So we're going to be piggybacking off of that. So what I want to do is I think I just want to focus on one tree right now. So let's call this, let's call this tree 1. Let's call this tree 2. Am I missing something? This one took a light with it. I don't care about lights and stuff like that. This one will be tree 3. Yeah, so The bottom texture is going to be easy, right? So this one here is just going to be a basic PBR, I think. Right, so this one will import as is. There's no issues with this. And from a poly count perspective, actually this one's high too. So what we'll do is we'll do our classic manual LOD using Blender's Decimate. And I've gotten so many comments about it. I'm like, yes, I know there are better ways to do LOD, but Blender Decimate is just such a fast way of doing it that yields really good results. You just have to tune it, right? You have to tune it so that when you're at the right distance, you can't really see the transitions. This one can use full alpha blending, or no, this one's opaque. This will just be an opaque material. And these guys, these are what the challenge is going to be. I think the branches are, everything here is alpha. So we're going to use alpha scissoring with depth prepass. And I want to show you, if I can, why that's so performant. The difference is massive when you use alpha scissor with depth prepass. Random suggestion for the future. Not sure what you're doing with this, but I'd love to see your thoughts on how to use a rendering server to spawn billboard. We're going to do that. We're going to do that today. So, well, maybe not today, but we're going to do it at some point. I'm going to use a feature in Blender. And I don't know if you guys have seen this. I'll show you this right now because it's super powerful. You take any model that you have in your viewport, right? And perhaps what we would do is generate a couple of billboards. But if you turn on, if you go to cycles and you turn on film and turn on, nope, we got to go to, is it Eevee or cycles? If you turn on transparent and then go view, viewport render image, boom, there's your billboard, right? Transparent image right there. So we will save this as tree 3 billboard. So let's go to, yeah, let's just save this as tree 3 billboard. So yeah, we'll throw this on a quad, and at the lowest level of LOD, that's really what I want to do. I want to spawn billboards in the background. And I think in the foreground, I'm just going to be spawning trees. Like, if you have kind of a grid-based approach, so let's assume there's kind of a 9x9 grid, and each grid could be like 50 meters or so. I think I would have LOD 0 here, LOD 1 in these grids, and then LOD 2, which would be billboards, would be everywhere else. I think that would be like a simple solution. And that the reason you would do this is because you can set the we can set the distance fade for the inner one, like for the boundary between these two layers, but I don't want to have to set distance fade on everything out here, if that makes sense. Like everything that's spawned in for number 2, it just is a billboard. There's no distance fade, because the problem is there's a fundamental problem in Godot LODs, and people have brought this up in the comments. The fundamental problem is you need, on branch textures like this, you absolutely need to be using alpha scissor with depth prepass. There's a lot of reasons for that. It gets put through the opaque pipeline. Basically, everything less than 0.99 alpha gets discarded, and it ends up being really efficient. You can generate in Bushcraft Survival, I'm putting in 100,000 of these billboards in the background, and that game runs on a potato. That game runs on a I have a ThinkPad here that is from 2014 that has an i5 in it with no graphics card and can handle 100,000 alpha scissor depth prepass billboards. So, and you can be more aggressive. Like in Bushcraft Survival, I actually have another LOD, so I have LOD 3 as well. But you're just more aggressive about how you use the lower quality meshes. Right now, though, my immediate problem is that this thing has 2 materials on it, and what I want to do, we're going to work with tree 3 for some reason. Okay. So this is what we got. Let's name things appropriately. Let's call this the trunk. And it has bark texture on it. These guys are all cards. And they have the leaf texture. 5,000 triangles. So yeah, that would add up fast, right? You can't have a lot of these in the near... you mean easy tree or speed tree? You actually thought I was going to pull out a potato? Yes, Bushcraft Survival runs on an actual potato. You stick 2 electrodes in it, and then you start playing. Is this being recorded? It should be. YouTube posts all the live streams, so I think it just does that for me. So you should be able to come back. Hey, Abstract Duck, hello. But yeah, we're just kind of getting organized here. Let's call these leaves 3. I have this obsessive tendency to make sure that my object and mesh names are the same in Blender. Don't ask me why that is. Let's call it a quirk of the personality. We don't need that displace. Man, artists be crazy coming up with stuff like this. I know this was made with Speed Tree, but still, it looks so cool. All right, and then we have these things. These are also quads. They're just on a separate material. And as much as I would like to bake these out, I can't. Because if you look at this, the reason that these trees look so good is because every quad here is UV mapped to this branch texture. So as much as I would love to bake these 2 materials down, that really is not going to work. For LOD1, we should consider baking. Your 2 last recorded streams don't have you talking. Yeah, that's because I had some stuff to do and couldn't have my video on. I was busy at the time. Can you edit blend files in Godot? No. They get imported because it triggers the GLTF export pipeline. But I really don't recommend that because it's super slow and annoying and you can't control your GLTF settings. So, this is, what do we call this? Branches. So yeah, I think LOD1 should be baked, now that I think about this. And we got to find a way to get this down. So I kind of want to experiment with that first. Let's call this tree 3 LOD0. Let's do a good old batch rename. Suffix, LOD0. Rename 9 objects. Where's it getting 9 objects? Why is it renaming 9? What did I do here? I don't know what this is. What is this? What is this bark mesh? Yeah, so that should be all right. Except for the fact that batch rename is not working. 7 objects. I'm losing my mind. What's happening here? I just want to batch rename 1, 2, 3. Guys, what the hell is Blender doing here? These objects, I think, are somehow linked in ways that I don't understand. Oh yeah, what is this? I don't care about the animation stuff. I do not care about the shape keys. we'll do some vertex shader animation. What does bake mean? We're put them all on one material, one mesh, basically. So yeah, I'd like to get my 3 LODs figured out before I start coding in Godot, basically. Like I said, normally I would batch rename, but Blender hates me right now. Although I do have this handy dandy doodad add-on that I can throw in here. Add-ons, install from disk. C dev add-ons. A ridiculous add-on that does one thing. This add-on renames all my meshes to be the same as my object name, because once again I might slightly have OCD, but that's all right. Also want these to be at the world origin, so luckily all the origins are the same, which is good. And what we will do is I want to put the origins all at this point. Where's my 3D cursor? So we'll do origin to 3D cursor. We'll do origin to 3D cursor. Origin to 3D cursor. Some things in Blender I wish would just happen by default. That would be nice. I screwed up something here. Yeah, I missed this one, I think. Okay. We try again. Okay. And cursor to world origin. All right, so my OCD has been satiated. Yeah, so next plan is, yeah, we try to bake, and I still haven't turned on my brain fully yet, so I'm not sure what my plan is going to be. These materials have a normal. I hate this viewport setting. My God. Why did they do this to me? Okay. So base color, roughness. They don't have any metallic. They just have roughness, normal base color. So we're going to try something, because the UCU paint add-on is pretty darn cool. We're going to try to UV map this the cheap way, the easy way. Man, SpeedTree makes some crazy UV maps. What is happening over there with SpeedTree? UV Maps Plus, good add-on. You should probably all get it. It's pretty sweet. There are no seams. There are no material seams in this model, so we have to Smart UV project. 0, 1, sure. I will pull this up here for the moment. Branches. See, this is where it's going to get messy. This is where it's going to get messy. Am I overthinking this? I might be overthinking this. Let's try something. This is probably not going to work, but let's try it. So we have this UV map, right? Okay, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Whenever you bake UVs, this UV map, it looks like a monstrosity, but it's a tiled map, right? So tiled maps don't generally work. These are not tiled. So fun fact, we can bake these and we don't have to make these UV maps unique, right? So the branch mats are not tiled, which actually works out really, really nicely. So what we can do, we'll slap in a UV map here. We'll do a UV smart. Okay. I'm just going to scooch that over. We're going to add a UV. These are fine. We are going to, we're going to name it the same. Okay. This is where it gets a little tricky. So here's our 3. Now we have to decide. I've heard about hotspot texturing. No, I've never done it. I've heard very, very good things about it. It sounds like a great workflow, honestly. I tend to, like all masochists, like to do things myself. Let's bring these down to about here. No, we're going to bring these up more. This needs more detail. This needs more relative detail. And you know what I could be doing? I could be using UV texturing add-ons, but to check your texel density size. I don't do that. I really should. I've done it before. I just find it kind of annoying, personally. Okay, these really don't want to fit together very nicely. I think where it was is the best place. So what you can do, this might not work either. I'm not sure if this is going to work. You can pin these. So we pin them and then we select everything and we go UV, pack islands, lock pinned islands. Then we pack them. Wow, that really didn't work. What happened there? Blender got very confused. Oh, okay. There's another problem here. Pack islands. Lock method. All. Merge overlapping. Overlapping islands stick together. And now we wait. I'm skeptical that this is going to work. No, it's still moving. It hasn't crashed. Oh, Cat is here. Say hello to Cat, everybody. He won't be here for long. He's too squirmy. I feel like I did something wrong. It's not supposed to take this long. Name, this is Toulouse. Toulouse, say hello. Say hello to the dark interwebs. Oh God, I'm so skeptical about this. Can you hear him purring? I'm just going to go ahead and say I did something wrong. It's not supposed to take this long. Is he as all orange cats? No, he's kind of smart actually. He knows lots of tricks. He's very chaotic, yes. All right, well, I broke Blender. Can't remember when I saved. Did it actually work? I think it worked. Yeah, it worked. So it packed all of the bark islands around the... I really shouldn't do it this way. This is a really dumb way to do this. I need a better UV map for the trunk. Yeah, let's save. I need a better UV map for the trunk. This will probably work, but this is a giant mess. So I shall try this one more time. I'm going to save this UV map. Right, so we're going to call this unopt, because it's not optimized. We'll call this UV map a1, and we'll try this one more time. And I think I just need to take a minute and actually... I really don't want to mark seams on this, though. Let's just... Oh, and it's not a quad model, so... What if I just UV unwrap angle-based? Oh, wow, that really doesn't work. UV unwrap... Yeah, this would take a long time for me to do properly, and I don't care that much for this demo, so we're just going to... We're going to try it this way. See if this works. Because I'm getting more and more used to the UCU Paint workflow, and I think it's pretty sweet. So, let's power save, because what I don't know is whether or not we can use multiple material slots. I don't think so. Okay, let's move this to new folder tree. Let's call this tree. Can't you just have two textures? I'm trying to bake this to a single, like for LOD sake, it makes a lot more sense to have just one model, one texture. This is going to be like medium-ish background once we get into the next layer. So what I'll do is I'll duplicate these now and move this to tree 3 LOD 1 LOD 0 and fix up these names. Normally I would use batch rename, but as you can see earlier in the stream, that is totally broken for some mysterious reason. All right, so now we're going to try something. I don't know how this is going to work, because we have the classic situation of still 3 different materials. Yeah, let's try it. Let's try it. So if I'm going to duplicate these again just as a test. We'll call this test. And if I join these, now we have 3 material slots. Can I make a UCU paint based on multiple material slots? No, okay. So this is just UCU paint applied to the first material slot, that's all. Okay. Yeah. So that doesn't do anything for us. Yeah, it's PBR. So the trunk particularly is PBR. There's one thing I wish the UCU Paint add-on did, and it doesn't quite do. I have Simple Bake as well, but I've been struggling with Simple Bake lately. I'm just not, I don't know. Let's try it, I guess. Let's try Simple Bake. So I'll duplicate this collection. We'll give Simple Bake a try. If it works, it works. All right, so Simple Bake is under here. And what I want to do is I want to bake objects. We're going to add these 3. I want to do a PBR bake. I want to do diffuse, roughness, and normal. Bump, normal. Here we go. Yeah, so if you look at the textures here, I don't think we're using metal on any of these. Metallic 0, metallic 0, metallic 0. Yeah, so it's not, there's no roughness. Okay, so I'm going to try to bake this at 2K, I think is a reasonable target. Output at 2K. Bake margin, we'll set that to 4. Oh, that's going to hurt. With all of these UV islands, that is going to not be good, but we'll try. We'll try it with a margin of 4 at first. And multiple objects to 1 texture set. Bake multiple objects to 1 texture set. Not available with bake maps to target. Sure, let's try it. Multiple objects to 1 texture set. We'll call it merged bake. Sure. Join bake objects. Yes. They got, every time you click another thing in Simple Bake, it just gives you more and more warnings. All right, UV settings, export settings. Export bakes. No, I don't want to export it. I don't want to detect UV dims. I want to use an existing. I don't want to restore original UVs. Yeah. So we are baking from existing UVs. UV0, UV0, UV0. Okay. Available, what is this? Available UV maps. Yeah. Alert, you are baking multiple objects to 1 texture set with existing UVs. You will need to manually make sure those UVs do not overlap. Yes, I've done that. I've done that. What does this do? Attempt to set all edit active UVs of bake objects to the UV map selected on the panel. I need a PhD to understand how to use Simple Bake sometimes. Holy crap. All right. Okay. Fine. I don't know. Let's bake. Let's see what happens. Welcome to technical art. Welcome to the joys of spending all day trying to bake materials. Not so Simple Bake. Yeah. Exactly. I have had some issues with Simple Bake the last few times I've tried to use it. So in one of my most recent videos, I walked through how to do this, but manually. The reason that would be painful this time is because I have more than just a color channel. I have a roughness channel and a normal channel. So I would have to do everything I did in that video 3 times. So in theory, this is faster. I'm just a little skeptical that it's going to do what I want it to do. Because I want to take the source UVs that came from SpeedTree and bake them to an output UV map that I just made. And the question is, will it work? It should. It should work. And then I'll do LOD 2 as a billboard. I think that would be cool. As a simple test we'll do like LOD 0 in here. So we'll do the high res meshes. We'll spawn in these guys out here. And I think the plan is to only have these 2 layers actually have LOD fading, right? Because like your vision radius is going to be like this kind of, or whatever. So all these out here, these can all be billboards. These can all be LOD 2. Everything out there. So maybe I'll do a like a 5x5 tile set, like 25 tiles, and each tile can be like 100 meters or something. That would be cool, I think. I'm not trying to use UDIMs. Why does it think I'm using UDIMs? Ugh. See, this is where it gets annoying. When it starts to do stuff that you don't anticipate. Okay, it says bake is complete. Where's my bake? Where did it go? Where did that just go? Oh, Simple Bake. Why you gotta do this to me? So in theory, I think we join these now. And we go UV this one. And get rid of that one. And we apply the merged material. Bake. I don't think so. What did it just do? I'm at a loss here. This is why I don't use Simple Bake anymore. My bake just went into the ether. There's nothing here. Did it bake the images? Just the images? Holy crap, I think it just baked images. All right. Fine. Fine, Simple Bake, it's fine. Everything will be okay. Diffuse. See, what the hell is this? This is why I can't trust Simple Bake. No, we're not doing this. Oh God, if the simple bake dev is really cool. By the way, I've sent him support stuff before, and he's been really great. It's probably user error. I'm being a little facetious here. Yeah. I saw something from Blender Conference. They do LODs like you want, but with geometry nodes. It's so cool. Yeah, that would be sick. I probably should look that up. Yeah, so what we're going to do, we are going to do this the way that I originally planned. And I think I'm going to try to leverage UCU Paint to do it. I'm going to try. Yeah, let's give it a shot. So, we don't need metallic. All right, we'll get UCU Paint set up on our 3. Oh no. Okay, it's actually overwriting the material itself. So what we got to do first is we have to make these unique. So complicated. Okay. All right, that's good. Setup, good. Setup, good. Okay, here's what I want to do. Let's just look at this right now. I want to bake this. It's not going to let me. I think it's going to complain. But we're going to bake to this UV map. And this is why Simple Bake, or whatever the hell this is called, UCU Paint, is pretty good. See? I think that just worked. And if we use baked, see that? Okay, so this is good. Let's check it out. That just works. So if we find my UCU baked image for color, here we go. That's my crazy, messy log UVs, my trunk UVs. Okay, that's good. Now here's where it fails and drives me nuts slightly. I want to bake this as well. So we're gonna bake this. So we bake all channels. We're gonna target the second UV map. Sure, I should set margin to 4 on this guy for sure, maybe even 2. And you know what? I want to do 2K. We can do 2K. Because this is not my low poly Bushcraft survival. This is gonna be higher resolution stuff. Okay. Let's see how this does. See, isn't that beautiful? So this baked, there's almost no difference in the bake. And we should get normal information too. So, where this annoys me is, I would love to use custom bake targets. And maybe someone can tell me if I'm using this wrong. I would love to use a custom bake target. So let's try that. And if we rebake to our custom target, so where did that go? Let's see. Yeah, then maybe that worked, but I think it just does color. So that's the problem with this. There's something weird about it. See, it doesn't bake anything. Never mind. I think I'm dumb. I think I don't know how to use this. Okay. All right. We're learning things. So in the custom bake targets, we can bake to this target with RGB from color. We need alpha. We need color alpha as well. That's very important. Let's call this tree LOD 3 color. That's this bake target. I set up another bake target for tree LOD 3 normal rough. Ooh, okay. We are learning things in real time here. Is this going to work? I'm like fascinated right now. I don't know if you guys could tell. Holy crap, there it is. No way. It did some weird sRGB nonsense. And this is a normal roughness map, which is cool, but probably unnecessary. Yeah, let's backtrack on this one. because GLTF is going to pack them for us. Yeah, Godot does all that on import. So I went a little overboard on this. We can just do normal here. We're going to kill the alpha, and we'll do another one for tree lod 3 roughness. If this actually does what I want it to do, I'm going to lose my mind. Because the question is, can we bake to a custom bake target from another object? My normal is still looking very wrong. Let's see what's going on here. RGB. Okay, let's try that. Bake again, rebake. Answer is yes. I hope it's yes. Normal's looking good. Okay, moment of truth. We're going to bake the second object. We're going to go to the branches because that's the next good place to go. We go to UCU Paint. Oh, new bake target. I want to use an existing bake target. Copy. I don't think this is going to work. I just want to bake it to the exact same target. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, I want it to work so badly, but I don't think it's going to work. Let's see. Image. Bake. Select the right UV map. Don't be a dummy. Look up YouTube Tut. Yeah. No, it added to a different object. See that? Oh. It's a different image. Boo. Right, there's our color 1. Here's our original log color. I don't know what to look up for a YouTube tutorial for this, to be honest with you. Oops. I was really hoping that would work. Let's try one more thing. I want to try to copy this big target. Copy values. Selecting multiple objects and bake them all at once. Yeah, you can, but it'll bake them individually. It'll still... Yeah, I tried that with Simple Bake. It'll still... bake them to different images. Like right now I can work with this. I just have to combine the images in GIMP, which is annoying. And also it didn't pick up my alpha correctly, I don't think. Yeah, that didn't quite work. So here's my image. I don't know why it's so like faded. Yeah, why does it look like that? Yeah. Okay. Well, we tried. Cool idea in principle. Let's clean up some of these images. I don't need these. I don't need... Oh, they're gone. Okay. Yeah, joining them, it doesn't make a difference, right? Because they're on separate materials. So ultimately, that's the problem. They're on separate materials. So I can do this. It's just there needs to be one more setting here, and I'll show you what it is. I'll show you what it is. So in the, standard Blender baking, there is a setting, okay, down here under bake, where when you bake your output image, you don't clear the image. You bake on top of another image. And I really wish UCU Paint would allow you to bake multiple objects to the same target. Yeah. I mean, I guess there's another question of, like, is it possible to put these all under the same UCU Paint material? That's probably the next thing I should look at doing. And I know I'm going on a tangent here. I'm probably not going to get to the rendering server stuff today, but I just do this stuff for fun. I'm not on a timeline here. So the question is, let's just So let's take out the bake. Yeah, I'll show you what happens. I'll try it. I'll show you what it looks like. So let's I got to clean some of this stuff up because we got a giant mess made in all the materials here. Okay. I'll show you, I suppose, the first approach would be to try to merge them. Duplicate object, then join them. Yeah, so I tried that, right? So we have the joined objects and bake from the copy. Bake what, though, right? If you do a UCU Paint setup here, it only applies UCU Paint to the first slot. It doesn't do anything to try to get all of these slots working on the same, right? So I can do this manually, for the record. Doing this manually is not too tedious. Let me show you. I was hoping that there would be a workflow with UCU Paint that I could leverage here, but I don't think so. All right, so here's our joined mesh. And actually, I don't even want them joined because we're going to bake them one at a time. Okay, so I don't like this viewport. Yeah, UCU Paint is awesome. I'm probably missing something if I were to guess. There's probably some little tiny setting I'm missing, but I'll show you what you do in principle here. So you slap on another image texture. We're going to make it 2048. We'll call it Tree 3 Color. And this is specifically for LOD 1. 2048, 2048. I do need alpha, and then that's good. So sRGB. So yeah, here's the deal. When you do manual baking, it's pretty easy. You just control the workflow a little bit more precisely. So under bake, we can bake diffuse, we bake color, we will clear the image on the first pass. So let's do a split here as well. So let's do a horizontal split and get the image editor open. Yeah. Okay, so here's our image up top here. Right, so you select your target, you press bake, and I'm a dummy. That's not going to bake properly because I need it to bake to a certain target. And this is where it gets really annoying. I'll show you. This is not going to work. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm here. Oh, that did work. Oh, interesting. Do you just need the correct UV map selected? I'm going to try to do it the wrong way. Well, Blender is not happy again. Oops. I'm just playing around with these settings. I think I think it just excuse me. I think it just matters which one is selected when you bake, which I did not know that. Maybe. I think they changed this in Blender recently. That if that's the case, that's a new thing. I like your videos. I always get to work with more technical. Yeah, that's cool. That's what I try to do. I'm trying to, like, you know, it's not necessarily beginner tutorials. I'm just kind of showing, you know, what I'm currently working on, the level of stuff I'm currently working at. And yeah, apparently people have found that useful, which is almost a surprise to me, but I don't know why this is getting stuck so hard. We'll let it think a bit more. Okay, here we go. Interesting. Yes. So when you bake it back out to the original UV map, you just get back the original bark texture. So that is really interesting, actually. Good for you, Blender. That worked perfectly. That was it did exactly what it was expected to do. Cool. All right, so let's bake it the proper way. Interesting. That actually simplifies that workflow a lot. Okay. That's not so bad. So we bake this again for the third time, now that I know how it works. Technically, one at a time could paint over the bake. I don't want to paint over it. I just want to layer them. I'll show you. Not sure why it's so slow. It could be because I'm running OBS and stuff. Let me turn off my NVIDIA. That sometimes causes problems. Maybe faster now. You see my background. Yeah, so let me make this smaller. My head doesn't need to be so large on the screen. All right, so here's what you do, okay? That's the first material. What I do is I literally will Control-C, Control-V this image, and then when we bake again, there's no problem with baking again as long as the right UV map is selected, UV map 0 here. We can bake and not clear the image, right? So bake, it should apply this tree texture in this spot. So the annoying thing is we have to do this 3 times. We have to do it for the normal map as well. But you know what? Blender improved this. Holy crap. I can't believe it. That is pretty wild. Blender made this work a lot better. I think 4.5 must have been the change. Because it never used to work like this. And can you bake? Can I select multiple objects and bake them at once? We'll try that with the normal map. All right, see? So now here's what we got. That's all baked out to one image. Wow, that is really low resolution. Is that, that's weird. Is that what that texture looks like? There's no way, right? It is. How is that texture that low res? What? Holy crap. Okay. So I really overkilled the resolution here. What? Leaf and branch. This is not done very well. Just for reference. I did not UV map this super well, but let's continue. Okay, so we bring in another image. It's going to be we're going to call it tree 3 normal, LOD 1. 2048 doesn't need alpha. Technically 32-bit float is better, but we're going to try it without it. Okay, so now we bake the normals. So we change this to be normal, blah, blah, blah. I won't clear the image. Oh, we'll try the two bakes at once for the other one. We'll see if that works. Okay, we're gonna try to see if is Blender smart enough to bake both of these at once? Is the question. I don't know the answer. Would be cool if it will be cool if it does. I think we could do a 1K texture. Oh, I had the wrong one selected. Let's try again. Cool. Okay. This all works. I'm actually going to reduce our textures to 1K because I'm realizing we don't need nearly all of this resolution. So we're going to redo this. Let's go UVs. Let's select these. And okay. So these can be way smaller. These can be like that big, I think, on a 1024 map. And you know what? Because we're going to be packing everything else around, let's just do this. And let's try repacking pack islands. Yeah. This is probably going to take a while again. But it's fine. Oh, it's going faster this time. I just noticed there's also an update to Simple Bake, so I'm wondering, am I just, do I just need an update and then try it again? Okay, so we're going to try this again. Let's go to shading. Where did I have that workflow? Here. This workspace. So we're going to do tree 3 color LOD 1. We'll make it 1K. Does need alpha. Okay, we're going to make another one, tree 3 normal LOD 1. This one does not need alpha. And this one is non-color. Okay, so we're going to give this a shot. Yeah. Okay. Color, color, and color. Okay. So. Oh yeah, it's way faster. I thought it would be faster. It's getting stuck. Cool. All right, so here's our color. And then we're going to do normal. All right, so now we have to do roughness, which, okay, there is a channel for roughness. So we got lucky. Metal is always... They still haven't added a metallic bake type. Why haven't they done that? It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense whatsoever. But I digress. Okay, rough, rough, rough. We will bake roughness. Okay. Bake. What are my system specs? Not very good, apparently, because I can't stream and do this at the same time. I have a 3050 Ti laptop here. And i5 something. 16 gigs of RAM. I have a hot take that I should be able to do all my game dev work and optimize my games so that they can at least run on a 3050 Ti laptop. If they can't run on a 3050 Ti laptop, there is something seriously wrong. So, anyways, that's my general thought. Okay, so now we join these. We remove all of these materials. We give it a new material. Call it tree 3 lod 1. I suppose I could do this for the lod 0 as well. But ultimately I want to decimate this. So that's why I'm kind of going for this workflow. Okay. So, tree 3 lod 1, we're going to put in the color. Oh, it needs to use the right UV map. Yeah, that's why. So let's put in UV map. Do. Hey, that looks right. And now we just need the alpha. Wow, okay. It actually worked. All right, so this is baked. We need the other channels, obviously. So let's get image. We're gonna get the normal. We'll put it into a normal map. Put in the right UV. That's important. And then the last one is roughness. Now, when you bake this to GLTF, it will do the channels for you. So that's why you don't need to worry about that. And we can just stick color right into roughness. So there we go. Like I said, all the add-ons, I don't know why they struggle to do exactly what I want. It do be looking much shinier than normal, and I wonder if that's because of the IOR. Let's take a look at the previous material. We can do a little side by side. Yeah, it's not exactly the same. It's looking a lot shinier. So let's try to find out what happened here. So this one has an IOR of 1.45. That helps a touch. This one has no specular. Ah, okay. We need to bake specular as well. That's what's the difference. So right now, my specular is not matching. But is that really the big difference? Wow. That's crazy. Okay. I think it is the specular. So let's bake out the specular as well. Is that an option though? Let's see. It isn't. What is Bushcraft about? Crafting bushes? Not exactly. Bushcraft is about surviving in the frigid wilderness of northern Canada. Well, that's interesting. I have no idea how to bake the specular component in Blender. We may say that this is good enough, although it does look really wet. So let's... oh yeah, I think the roughness values are not quite high enough, perhaps. Or the normal map. No, the normal's good. Normal, no issue there. Color is an sRGB. We're putting through alpha. Yeah, maybe it's just a texture resolution thing. Yeah, Blender's alpha, maybe? Let's see if there's any other shader settings that we're missing. Greater than 0.5. So it's doing its own alpha hashing. So we don't need that because we'll introduce something like that into Godot. Oh yeah, that makes a huge difference. That makes an enormous difference. And then if we lower the specular a little bit to 0.2, there we go. That's pretty damn good. I'm pretty pleased with that result. So here's our baked. Here's our original. And in fact, I think for simplicity, we should just use this as one mesh. So, right, so originally we had that, now we have this. This is still, 8,000 triangles? That's actually not that bad. This is a pretty good model. That is a pretty sweet level of optimization. Of course, what's going to happen in Blender is in Godot is you're gonna get some crazy overdraw. So, anyways, let's pivot a little. I'm gonna now call this LOD 0. We're gonna call this LOD 0 joined. LOD 0 joined. And duplicate it. Just to simplify our workflow here a little. Hey, average Godot enjoyer. Happy Thursday to you. Rename meshes to object. Okay, cool. Now we do the part that nobody likes. We apply decimate and see what happens. Yeah, I think it's kind of breaking down here, but maybe to here. Our UVs are starting to fall apart. I just realized I think I've done this workflow the wrong way. Stay with me, friends. We'll get there. I think we should decimate before baking. Yeah. Darn. Okay, at least I got my baking workflow figured out. And we already have the UV maps on here, so... let me just double check these UVs are right. Oh, no, this is the old UV maps. Okay, let's walk this backwards a sec. So let's rename this material branch, leaf. I'm going to call this trunk just to be super consistent. And yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. Uh-oh. My laptop is doing the thing. So this happens occasionally. Don't know why it happens, but I have to unplug my monitor. Hope that nothing crashes. I don't know what OBS is doing right now. Probably just black. Plug it back in. Pray to the Blender gods. Okay, so what's the plan here? I think the plan is, these are the wrong UV maps, first of all, so that sucks. We're going to duplicate this, bring this into here, call it LOD1, give it a good old object rename. Try that again. And I need to... Oh, no, that's not going to work. Yeah, I may have shot myself in the foot here. Because I want this UV map. But I don't exactly know how to go about getting it. Yeah. Okay. No, there's a way. There's a way. Let's turn on sync selection. It's a little bit cheesy. Okay, so then we can object rename add-on. Yeah. Well, the batch rename is supposed to work, but sometimes it just doesn't. Well, that didn't quite work. I missed something. Something in here, see? There we go. Okay, so we're gonna put on the old material. So this is trunk. This is nope, that's not a branch. That's a leaf. And this is a branch. Okay. All right, so this is the OG material. Okay, so I worked myself backwards here. That's good. And duplicate. So I'm thinking I need to decimate here first. That feels more right. So we're at 8,000 tries. I should aim for like 1,000 in LOD 1. Right? We should like have like an 8x reduction. Right, and then we're going to eventually go to a quad or a couple of quads for the billboards. So like, it needs to be like a worthwhile reduction. So let's try this first. Okay, so this one you can bring way down. I think this is fine. We can hide the other stuff and see. But yeah, this is a pretty big... Yeah, we're bringing it from 1,000 down to... It kind of starts to fall apart here. But then we can go to maybe 300 triangles. I think it's fine. Yeah, I know this is not perfect, but this is just for... If you had time and effort, you could do a better job with this. All right, so branches, these are the ones that are tough because these are quads to begin with. So really what we're doing is we're cutting out a lot of the density of the foliage. I think we go all the way down to like here. We'll do this. Okay, we'll go to here. Oh, I think we need a different solution, don't we? No, that's fine. I'll keep going with this. I was thinking we could billboard. We could do some double quad billboards. I don't know. I changed my mind again. Let's try it. Let's try it. I'm going to billboard this from 2 angles. Okay, we're going to go boop. And then there. Yeah. We're going to try this. Okay. Is there any way to know your zoom level in Blender? Let's find out. I'm actually going to add a camera to the scene. Ah, I was in Godot shortcuts for a second there. How do I do that? Add, Control A, right. Camera. And align camera to view. We could do an actual render here. But that's fine. Okay, so if we do Control Alt number pad 0, we get to there. Why is this not working? Okay, that's good. And then we'll do another camera. Where's that camera? This is kind of hard to control for. You know what? I'm being silly. We align to view. Oops. We go... Yeah, so we can now go off. We go view, align view to camera selected. Align view, camera. Well, that's not turning out to be very useful. I think there's an option here to do align view to... No, that's weird too. Okay. We will just do this, and then I can I can rotate it. Yeah. Okay. We'll get it from 2 angles. Okay, we'll do that, and then we'll do Z90. Ugh, okay. Yeah, sorry, I got distracted there for a second. I need a plane now. Where's my plane? It would be nice if there was a way to actually match it exactly. But I'm thinking that's not going to be, strictly speaking, possible. So let's call this tree 3, lod 1, billboard 1. Yeah, it's going to be probably some stretching and scaling to make this look correct. And I don't know what orientation this is either, so. All right, so that's obviously got to go this way. And squash it. And I don't think it's this view. I think it's... Is it this view? I think it's this view. So now I just try to line it up, I guess. I don't know. I don't have a more sophisticated way of doing this. Interesting. It looks very close. But I'm wondering, is it not the right... It's just... Okay, you know what it is? I got to put this way back. There we go. Yeah. Okay, that's better. Because we were getting some weird alpha stuff happening. I mean, that's pretty close. I don't know how much I want to like labor over this. It is weird that it's like slightly different. Why did that happen? Probably just the way that alphas are. Oh, and we also have this. So let's throw this on as well. Shading. We do a little of this, a little of that. Yeah, I don't know why it won't fit exactly. Probably what I need to do is use the aspect ratio of the image, which is 1920 by 1080. And I should stop being a big dummy about this. And let's set the scale, I don't know, to 50, 50, 50. But we're going to set... I'm trying to think of a good way to do this, actually. 192 by 108. Yeah, and then we apply scale. Okay, that's a little bit more intelligent, I suppose. It's weird. It like has whole parts of the other one that don't seem to be there. I'm a little bit baffled by this. Let's try again. Yeah, let me render this again. Okay, so we're rendering exactly this view. Viewport render image. We will do a save as. Oh, it's still going. Oh, okay. I don't want to render. It should just render what's visible, I think. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. That's weird. Oh yeah, now we're getting dialed in here. I would love for it to be exact, and for some reason I'm not seeing a simpler way to do that. Maybe there is. I actually don't have any guarantee that these are lined up left, right either. That's trippy. Ah, Okay, you know what? I'm laboring over this way too much. This billboard is pretty damn good. That is a pretty good billboard. So let's take away our other ones. Okay, so now all we got to do is bring this into here. In Godot, we will shade this both sides. And now I need to do the other side. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom. You have a billboard. That worked out pretty good, actually. The only thing that I'm shooting myself in the foot now is I'm not going to have the same render resolution, I don't think, on both of them, which is kind of annoying. But whatever. Okay, so now we go to this side. Ooh. That pivot was perfect. Turn off this stuff. We're going to do a render viewport. We do save. Oh, it cut off a little bit, so we got to zoom out. Oh, we don't want the trunk in there, actually. Yeah. Viewport render, save as, to, save as, close. We will duplicate this plane. Okay, so here's our plane. We go dupe, rotate, unique mesh, unique mat, whatever. Okay, no guarantee that this is going to be in the right orientation, though. So I think it's not. Well, that was pretty close right off the jump, scale-wise. OBS just made my head huge. Don't know why. Ah, did it again. Yeah, my computer's freaking out. One sec. Are we back? Everything seems to be working. It is annoying that I have to do that like every 20 minutes. I would rather not have to do that every 20 minutes. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So here's our two billboards. Here's our trunk. And this is what it looks like. So, not perfect. Oh, and you know what? These should not be shiny. These should not have any roughness whatsoever. Or metallic, really. Okay, so. Why are they so shiny? Oh, that's why. Okay. This one is still shiny. All right, so in the distance will be probably okay. You could do a 3/4 angle. That would be good as well. A 3/4 angle probably would do a lot. So why not? We should do that. I'm not actually sure how to do a 3/4. Oh yeah, there we go. I think this is 15 degree. 15, 30, 45. Yeah, I need a better way of doing this because every time I do it, I lose the reference frame of what I captured it from. So, like, for instance, now I kind of have to pan through all the permutations until I find... It kind of looks like this one the most, but it kind of also looks like this one. Yeah, I need a better system for this, obviously, because this is biting me. And the image could be... No, the image shouldn't be flipped. Is it this one? This one. Okay, so I found the rotation. So the problem is like, how do I don't know how to line up my billboard now with this. Oh, that's trippy. Okay, I guess it's 145, 135. Yeah. Here we go. All right, so that did work. Oh, interesting. Is the top cut off for some reason? Oh, it's too small. Yeah, it's way too small. I think that's all right. It's pretty spot on. Okay, so here's our billboards. Oh, I guess would you need a second 45? It's probably not the right way to do this. You probably do 3 at 60-degree intervals. No, 120-degree intervals. But I've opted for how many? 1, 2, 3, and we'll do a fourth. So this angle. Yeah. Yeah, I'm skeptical about this as an approach now. I'm feeling like I've kind of lost sight of what I'm going for here a little bit, but that's fine, I guess. Should be there, which is what? 225 degrees. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it works. It's just annoying. And this is not the right orientation, I don't think. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's just so easy to lose track of where you take the snapshot from. And I think this one actually is not right. Oh yeah, it's the mirror image of this. So we go. Okay, this is the viewpoint for this image. Okay. Okay. This is not working out exactly as I hoped. So let me think. If I can solve this, that would be good. And then I'll probably leave it there. I got really, really distracted on the Blender side of things today. So how's it 390 degrees? 60 and 30. Oh, that's not right. I need one that is going to be roughly here. That's 225. Okay. Yeah, so hopefully next time I will have made more progress on this part of things. And then we can get into the Godot side of stuff. Probably hyper fixated on getting the Blender stuff perfect. That's all right. Okay, so here's my billboard. Here's this. And get this back. Yeah, this is a complicated workflow. Probably not conducive to making stuff quickly. It is satisfying though, lining up all of these things. Okay, that's pretty lined up there. Okay, moment of truth. Does this actually look any good? So I suppose use your imagination. The shading is a bit weird, but it won't look that weird in Godot. We'll fix that up. Okay, so now our LOD 2, oh wow, okay. So this is all the way down to 346 triangles. And then I think your LOD 0 is going to be, or your LOD 2 is going to be just a big billboard, just a single billboard. Yeah, how does this compare? Let's see. Oh, my images got removed. That's frustrating. Probably what I'll do in another video is I'll come back and rebake the merged one. I lost my images for some reason. I might have nuked them myself when I was cleaning up the file. But that's too bad. I think Blender... Oh, they look like they're there. Oh, weird. But they're black. Okay. Yeah, it's using the right UV map. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for people who hung out. Hopefully next time I will get into some Godot stuff. Like I said, ultimately what I want to do is I want to have a chunking LOD system that uses multi-threading. So probably what I'll do, because I'm realizing streaming this kind of stuff is too tedious. It's not that interesting. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on that. But what I'll do is I'll try to get all the assets figured out before the next stream. And then I'll come on the stream and we'll start to put in this chunking system. Just to get some coding in Godot. Because what I want to do is I want to dynamically spawn this world as you run through it. And I'd like to be able to move pretty fast. Like, we should be able to move pretty fast through the world. And then spawn in the system behind you and have what's in your near view fade in and out gently with the rendering server LOD technique. We'll see how good it looks. I'm not super happy with this. The biggest problem with this is the shading, right? So the depth shading on these guys is off, and I'm wondering why that is. It could be specular maybe, but in any case, yeah, the biggest giveaway right now is the depth on these guys. So yeah, I'll clean up some assets, and then next time hopefully I will do some coding. All right, otherwise I will see y'all next time. Cheers, 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 cheers.